I want to share with you today information on the Alexandria Professional PRP, Permanent Reduction Program. I love walking this walk and talking this talk because it's really quite effective. But to reach permanent reduction, I'd like to say permanency, but the law tells us that we say permanent reduction, although I am permanent. I like to talk about this because if you follow the process, your clients will be so appreciative. And for me, a sustainable business is the reason we're in business, right? We want to keep our customers happy. And best way to do that is to make their skin look beautiful because we're in a beauty industry, but also give them satisfaction when it comes to their hair removal treatment. Here's how it works. Now, you're all familiar, I think most of the industry worldwide is now familiar with the Kennedy theory of extracting hair in the early anagen stage in the natural direction. It's become the standard of professional sugaring, and I love to see that because we're all elevating the market together. When your customer comes to you the first time, and let's say they're shaving and it's been, standard 30 days they think to come in, and you extract that hair. Obviously, you're going to have some hair in the anagen, which is great because that's when you want to extract the hair, and you'll have hairs in the telogen. So what that means to you as a practitioner advising your client is that to reach permanent reduction, you have to try faster, meaning faster. You have to try to extract the hair only in the anagen stage and preferably in the early anagen stage. So the best way to help your customer understand the value of the program you're recommending to them is to have them buy into a 6-month package. Within that 6 months, you can guarantee permanent reduction. You simply cannot guarantee, nobody can, not electrolysis or laser or waxing or shaving, threading or sugar can guarantee the percentage of hair that will be permanently reduced. You can kind of guesstimate understanding and looking at your client's hair growth pattern and types of hair you're dealing with. So right now I'm only thinking in my head like the legs, making it easier to go through with you this information. You do the first treatment and you should look, because that's exciting, right? When you look at the sugar, every time you do a flick, every time you remove or do a kickoff and you look and you see the hairs that came out, you can tell how many hairs, you're not counting them, but approximately how many hairs are in the telogen and how many hairs are in the anagen. And at least that'll give you an idea of how much hair growth there'll be on the next cycle. For me, I can say that I found the best progress for simple things like legs is to have your customer come every 10 days to 2 weeks, at least for the first several treatments, so that you get to a point faster where you are sure that any hairs that pop through your client's skin is in the anagen. You've gone through all the stages of telogen, which means then every new hair coming through will be in the anagen if you don't let it get to the point where it separates and goes into the telogen. So what that means is you will have instant, by appearance, you'll have instant staggered growth, especially after the third time of the 10 to 2 week period treatment. You'll have staggered growth because not all the hairs will be there at the same time. And you know that not every single hair is in the anagen at the same time. So that's why I'm saying not all the hairs will be there at the same time. Some will take much longer because they were extracted in the early anagen, but maybe the last grouping of anagen hairs are already growing. Maybe they're just below the skin surface or just popping through. So you're playing with the inside development of the hair growth now, not just exterior. What you want from the exterior is when the hair comes through, you don't want it to get too long. That's why it's important to do the 10-day to 2-week intervals for that 6-month period. Because maybe you say to your customer, oh, please come back in 10 days. I want to see how many hairs are coming back within that period. And they call you and you say, I barely have any hairs. Well, what's barely any to you? Well, I don't know, I'm not counting them, but maybe I have like 3% hair growth back. Okay, but my client, those 3% hairs are guaranteed in the anagen. So please just come in. It'll take me like 10 minutes. You'll be in and out, and let's get rid of those hairs. All right, so they come in and you take those hairs out. And then you say, so that was very, very minimal percentage of hair growth. I don't know what the rate will be on the next growth. If you want, we can wait a full 2 weeks. Okay, we do. And they come back in 2 weeks and now it's like 20% hair growth. And they get a little concerned. Oh, that's a lot of hair, because now they're getting used to not really having any hairs exposed. But that's okay. So you take away, and this is what you do for 6 straight months. You simply extract the hair, irrelevant of how few or how many are there for the treatment. You simply extract the hair when it's in the early anagen stage. So now, the benefit of this is when you're extracting the hair in the anagen, you usually have the thicker bulb. You're not just detaching it from the derma papilla, but you're removing inner root sheath. So all these factors play a role in the hair growth. So as you're doing that, you're also decongesting the follicles that, kind of like bringing up with the root along the sides of the wall, all the junk in the trunk. So now, when you add in the full circle of skin conditioning program, which we've talked about before and we can revisit another time, which means they're maintaining at home, they're maintaining keeping the skin cells softened and exfoliated so that the mud can purge and bring hairs out or any other thing it wants to bring out from those follicles, so that when they come back to you and you apply your sugar, it really seeps into the follicles super easy. Because remember, we're going to remove hairs that are very tiny. You don't want the resistance inside. So them working with you with a full circle at home will make your treatments much easier and faster and keep the hairs intact as you're extracting them, meaning reduce any potential of hair breakage. Although we already do that with the professional sugaring, but the facts remain, depending on what kind of hairs you're dealing with, you don't want to have any hair breakage or resistance from the inside. But please keep following, because we will do a full video on the application, on the use of the full circle of skin conditioning program and its relevance when you unite it with our permanent reduction program. The results, really, I know you're looking at me going, yeah, we know, but I'm telling you the results, it's not just, hey, we're reaching that permanent reduction faster, but the skin, along with that, no customer can help but brag about the results you provide to them. And that helps to build your sustainable business. So if you're not already using the permanent reduction program, if you have more questions, reach out to us, because this permanent reduction program, when you consult with your customers and ask them what do they really want from your treatments, you can recommend this. Yes, we as professional sugarists can actually provide permanent reduction faster. All you have to do is what we just shared with you. So happy sugaring.